This week on the Racing Insiders, we go to Baltimore, where it's turned into a parking lot several times by the ALMS crowd. Guy Cosmo jumped ship in the middle of the season. He's at level 5 right now. We get both sides of that story. We go to the European Rallycross, where we talk to the winner and to the points leader. We've got that covered like a glove. And are you kidding me? What's going on in our minds on a busy weekend in motorsports? The Racing Insiders is next. Welcome back to another edition of the Racing Insiders, the only place in broadcasting where you're going to get fresh sports car content every week. I'm Bill Wood in Los Angeles. Peter Keane is in Cocoa Beach, Florida, and you can't believe where Jim Daniels is. Where'd you get the money for this boat to be out lounging while everybody else is to the grindstone?
Well, you know, it takes hard work and dedication, Bill, but someone has to have a boat.
Somebody's got to do it. That's absolutely right. It's good to see you, Jim. Now we're going to go to Baltimore, the Inner Harbor. And Jim's not in the Inner Harbor. This is where the ALMS turned the whole place into a parking lot several times. Huge crash at the beginning before the start-finish line. We, before the show, had our own ideas about the way things happened. Jim, let's get started. What do you think happened to turn the race into a quagmire?
Well, look, this is the Racing Insider, so I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't get inside reports. Ed Zabinski, show friend, works for Level 5 as a driving coach. His take on it, and my take as well, although I have a different slant, is that Chris Dyson was a little overzealous. He went first before the pole sitter. I don't think he did anything wrong legally, but that caused other people in the field to go ahead and go WOT, get to the throttle. Unfortunately, Lazzaro got in the back of Scott Tucker, blocked the track in that level 5 car, and a melee ensued. What's interesting is that it was Lazzaro that hit Tucker. Peter?
When I saw that the incident ensue, I'm like, man, that's expensive. They tore up a lot of race cars. The one thing I don't understand is why was it such a big hurry? There was only 2 P1 cars and 4 P2 cars. It's not like you got 30 guys breathing down your neck. I don't know why they were anxious to begin with.
That's right.
I did like the chicane. It kind of brought global rally into the the road racing business. Those guys are hopping over the curbs. I'm like, is this really for real? Is that a real racetrack? I mean, other than that, it was a good show. Good race. Glad my buddy Antonio Garcia won in the Corvette.
Yeah, Corvette won too. They kicked tail. Did a great job.
Now I think we got to go a different direction on this for me. When the green flag drops, you go, and that was a problem. I don't know that, especially the Dyson racing car needed to be penalized. I don't know why they were penalized, and but that's my take. I was wrong, obviously, but that's my take still. I think that it's the safest thing when the green flag drops, go. If you're going to play games, then this is what the results. There's also a problem a little later on where the cars kind of ran into each other and had a second backup with the cars, and I think Oberlin used one of the Corvettes as a ping pong to stay a billiard carom shot to stay on the track, and they had another problem there later on, like 2 or 3 turns later. It was a weird race.
Yeah, Bill, the most interesting thing was those Vipers gave them HELL at the last race, but it was no contest this weekend. I don't know if jumping those curbs in that chicane like Peter likes was the what they liked, but Antonio Garcia, a show favorite because he races with Peter and races for Peter in the Daytona cars, they went 1-2, and it looked flawless to me. I couldn't find a pit strategy issue, anything wrong with it watching the race. And then Thurston Nunez moving up from the IMSA Lights from last year, the champion, taking that Mazda ladder money, $250,000, adding it to what he brought up himself for a Don't Text and Drive sponsorship, puts that money in an LMPC car. They win the race. And then Dion, who in the Porsche Cup, or the Flying Lizard car, that is, wins as well. I think we got him coming up. It's a very interesting race. Peter, you want to go through Guy Cosmo, also a show favorite, switching over to level 5 and winning the race in his first outing, Peter?
And his debut, that's right, Guy comes through, that's another going ex-Spirited Daytona driver, and I'm glad to see that. I mean, I guess I got a great opportunity there with level 5, and then he comes through, which is that's a good showing for him first outing.
And Muscle Milk gets the win overall, their 6th win this year, and I think that locks up the championship for Greg Pickett Muscle Milk Racing. A great season for them. The other big story in Baltimore is Guy Cosmo switching from Extreme Speed Motorsports over to level 5. We talked to the Extreme Speed owner, Scott Sharp, to get his idea of how kind of impact this change is going to have on the rest of the season.
Really, I don't think at all. I mean, Anthony's done a great job. He drove with us at Sebring and was, I think, the fastest of all 6 of us at Sebring. So he knows most of us on the team very well, and has jumped right back in and been super quick. So I think not an issue.
What did Guy Cosmo have to say about the change? We'll get that when the Racing Insiders continues after this.
Let us know what you think about what the Racing Insiders have to say. Tell us on Facebook and Twitter. Want to keep up with all the racing action at the track? Well, download the new Go Racing TV iPhone and Android app. And remember to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Welcome back to the Racing Insiders. Underwood in Los Angeles. Let's go to Jim Daniels right now with some questions for Guy Cosmo. He was one of the sub-headlines at Baltimore. Jim?
Yeah, I was able to get with Ed Zabinski at level 5, get a hold of Guy Cosmo this weekend and ask some questions. And the main thing was, as a driver, a professional driver, changing teams mid-season. There's contracts, there's fees, there's sponsors. It's a lot of headache to jump from one team to another when you're already underway. And so I wanted to find out about his transition. Here's his response.
Transition's been going great so far. Obviously this is big news. It's a big adjustment for a lot of people in a lot of ways, but I'm really thrilled to be here at level 5. It's a wonderful environment. Everybody's been very, very kind, very accommodating, very nice, just very. It's been great. I mean, I'm really having a good experience. Everyone's offered everything they can to try to help me settle in and get acclimated and introduced to everybody. It's obviously a big team, so a lot of people and faces and names to get accustomed to, but it's been a wonderful transition so far.
I was curious if switching from car to car, same class, very similar everything other than maybe grabbing your seat insert, helped this decision. This is what Guy had to say.
No, I mean, the intent was not at all to try to come here to level 5. The intent was really to just start exploring options for 2014, see, just start laying some groundwork and finding out who's in what position for next season and see what my options were. And obviously returning to ESM was an option of mine. So, at this point, that wasn't the objective, was to come over here. I think after discussions began, it became very apparent that they were in a bind trying to find a driver that was ranked silver, had the performance capability that I've been showing against them all season, and as discussions went along, it all kind of unfolded. And without getting into all the details of it, it's sad that I've left ESM. They've been great to me for 3.5 years, but I think ultimately what we are all looking for kind of conflicted a little bit, and they were gracious enough to let me make the switch now. So I'm enjoying my time here at level 5.
So here's the scuttlebutt. People says his career is over. Let me just say, arguably, if I want to pass out a rumor as a racing insider, $500,000 sign-on bonus is nothing shabby for anyone. I can't confirm that's what he got, but I will say that jobs that pay money in road racing are few and far between, and you got to take care of your family. You got to do what's right. I don't think the guy's ended his career. I think the guy is making a decision, a business decision, and I'm sure that he sat down with Scott Sharp and that team and said, hey, this is what my offer is. I got a family to take care of. What do you think? And I can't help but think they're all good guys. They're cordial. They're smart business people, and they couldn't keep him there for what Mr. Tucker was offering over at level 5. He knows as well as anyone what it means to leave a team mid-season like this. Peter?
Well, I gotta agree with you, Jim. I've known Guy for a long time, and I mean, he's an upstanding person. I'm sure he, talked it over with Scott Sharp and Ed Brown, and like you said, Tucker gets what Tucker wants. So I'm sure, it was a sweet deal that, that Scott Tucker offered Guy Cosmo, and that's, we're all grown-ups here, and, it was a good opportunity. And Guy's a good guy. He's a good spokesman for, the sport, and he always carries himself well. So I don't know that it ruined his career. I mean, maybe it gives people some angst mid-season, but other than that, I agree with you. I think it's just, he was trying to take care of his family or take care of himself. So I don't have any problem with it. Bill?
Yeah, me either.
Yeah, I'd go a step further. I've heard that Guy wasn't the happiest of campers at Extreme Speed. They made some concessions to him to let him drive one of the faster cars there this year. Right. He showed that he was capable of doing that. And if you throw in some money, if that's true, whatever money he was getting, that gives him a chance to make a step, and maybe it'll advance his career. The chance to win over the chance to run second is a pretty big opportunity that you can't turn down. That's exactly. The Baltimore, Guy Cosmo, the double headline there in Baltimore. We go to France for our next headline, the European Rallycross, maybe the biggest round ever. And we talk to the winner. He's happy, even though they call him Mr. Baby Blue. Right after this, the Racing Insiders is next.
This segment of the Racing Insiders was brought to you by GoRacingTV.com, for racers by racers.
Going right now to France, the biggest rallycross race ever. More than 30, maybe 36 supercars. Some of the biggest names in the sport: Sebastian Loeb, Peter Solberg, Chris Meek, Tanner Faust. The winner, Andreas Bakkerud. Second straight. They call him Mr. Baby Blue. I haven't gotten used to that yet. Andreas, congratulations on a major win.
Thank you so much, Bill. What an incredible weekend it has been for me to beat my biggest idol ever, Sebastian Loeb, Peter Solberg, Tanner Faust, the rest of the crew. And to be honest, I'm in shock.
In shock. It must have been, you passed Solberg twice in the final. You drove your tail off.
Yeah, I was really in a good mood in the final. He took the start. He used his tires from the semi-final, so he had really good grip with heated tires. But after 2 laps, I saw I was gaining a lot on him, and I was thinking, okay, I know I need to go and I need to be on the attack all the way. And I tried to pass him one time, and then I braked way too late, went out, come back on the track again, and catched him. And the next lap after that, I overtook him. I felt it was a really clean and nice overtake. Rallycross is rallycross, and it's really door-to-door racing, so maybe it was a little contact between us. But anyway, I'm super proud, super happy, and I think Liam Durant Sport together with Monster Energy is a really good combination, and the car is just brilliant right now.
It was a huge win. Congratulations.
Incredible. Thank you so much, Bill. It's unbelievable. It is.
A great conversation with a budding star in European Rallycross, maybe a star globally in Rallycross. We were looking for the 9-time World Rally Champion Sebastian Loeb to get to the final. He didn't make it out of the semifinals. The 2 semifinal winners were Peter Solberg and Bakkerud. They started on the front row. Timerzyanov was in the second row. And when the green flag launched, the Peter Solberg got the start. Big final, huge win, new names. The big names who didn't get there, Liam Duran and Sebastian Loeb, didn't get to the finals. The podium was Bakkerud, Solberg, and Davy Janney, the Frenchman, who got into third place. The racing in Europe is very different than the global rallycross stuff that we see at X Games. I think it's more of a show in global rallycross, more of a competition, a race, no big jumps and that sort of thing in the European round. The points leader this year, the defending champion, Timerzyanov, I had a chance to talk to him. He kind of agrees it's racing in Europe. Timerzyanov. It's good to meet you finally. We've talked on the phone. You're the defending champion in European Rallycross. You are leading the points again. Tell me about American Rallycross. You've been in a couple of rounds. How do you like American Rallycross? I've had drivers tell me that it's more of a show here and more of a race in Europe. You agree with that?
Yeah, I agree with that because I know that how it's difficult to drive in Europe. We have more difficult qualification for the finals, and this is the biggest problem because here you just come here and we have one heat, and then it's you go straight to the final, and then you have LCQ, like last chance qualifying, and in the end you are in the final somewhere and just out from the track. But in Europe you have 2 days racing, you have 4 heats just to be qualifying, and you have, if you are lucky, you will be in the semi-final, and then it's final. It's more driving, more stress for the cars and everything. But here, I think it's a more popular driver here in America. It's biggest star is here. You know, it's if you take the difference between Europe and America. In Europe, you are driving like a driver, and it's like a professional sport. Here, it's like a show. It's money, and it's everybody's here. It's still the sport, but it's a different type of sport.
I'm glad we have Global Rallycross because it needs to be in America. It's a fabulous sport. I do wish, and you can go back and look at previous episodes on YouTube from me, I do wish that the racing was a little bit more pure and fair and it wasn't a mad dash to the first turn. Peter?
I'm going against you on this one, Jim. I got to tell you, there's
figure.
great Americans like Barnum and Bailey and Humpy Wheeler, and, so we Americanized Rallycross a little bit. It puts on great shows, and we've talked about it before. Every time a Global Rallycross is on at a bar or something, it stops time. People that don't even care about racing stop and watch that. It's a spectacle. Maybe you want to call it a show. I mean, that's fine. You can call it a show. It sure looks competitive to me. I'm sure it's not easy.
You know, it is, I agree with both of you. It is different, and the comparison is Formula Drift. When drifting came to the United States, it was very different, and it became Americanized with V8 engines and a lot of smoke and not so much competition, the purity of the sport in Japan. And I think that same thing is happening here with Global Rallycross. It's going to be a different kind of sport. Whether or not the Global Rallycross will be able to export that like Formula Drift has done, we'll have to wait and see. All right, are you kidding me? A busy weekend, not a lot of events, but a lot happening in motorsports worldwide. Are you kidding me is next. The Racing Insiders continues after this.
This segment was brought to you by the Sports Car Club of America. Want to keep up with all the racing action at the track? Well, download the new Go Racing TV iPhone and Android app. And remember to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Are you kidding me?
Welcome back to the Racing Insiders. You're going to like this segment. Let's get right to it. Peter, what's on your mind?
Well, Bill, I got to tell you, my Are You Kidding Me was that truck race on Sunday at Mosport. What a great race. They ran the whole thing. There was fuel mileage strategy, great road racing. Ty Dillon and Chase Elliott were at the front, traditional young guns of NASCAR, and then we had Mike Skiing and Matt Pappas running third and fourth. Comes down to like a 3-lap shootout. They run clean. All of a sudden, the world is right. And then right at the end, the last corner, it all comes unglued. My Are You Kidding Me is, first of all, Chase Elliott takes out Dillon on the last lap, just dive bombs him and creams him. And then next corner, they're crashing, and finally Chase Elliott gets across the finish line. And right behind them, Max Pappas takes out Keane, and they total both those trucks. So they wad up 4 trucks in the last corner of the race, and Chase Elliott gets his first truck victory, I think, after 6 starts. But, man, I was really enjoying it right there till the end, and then the redneck came out, and it just went all to hell. That's my Are You Kidding Me? Jim?
Well, look, mine centers around that as well. Show favorite at Billy Johnson got his face slapped in a road race with Max Pappas. And
right.
It was promoted on the internet, TV, everywhere, and he still talked about in Twitter land. After the race, we don't know who it was. We don't even know if it's someone on Skeen's team, but someone slapped Max Pappas in the face, a lady. That's my Are You Kidding Me, other than my boys at UT 45-0 in the football game this weekend. What? Are you kidding me, Bill?
You sure it was a lady that smacked the maps? Maybe it was just a woman.
Yeah, it was.
Could have been
Wasn't a
Billy
lady.
Johnson in a wig, but I haven't confirmed that yet. That's the rumor.
Well, they were both about the same height, Jim, so I got to agree with you there, but go ahead.
My Are You Kidding Me goes back to Andreas Bakkerud. I found him at the hotel after the event was over. He was still partying, having a grand time. He told me that they were going to go to dinner and consume some adult beverages. He's just about old enough to have an adult beverage. But he said he couldn't have a lot because he had to get up at 8 o'clock in the morning on Monday to do a segment for Fifth Gear. He said they may have to wait till Tuesday before the serious partying happens. That was the biggest win of his career, one of the biggest wins in all of rallycross. We've got more still with the Racing Insiders. Stick around. We'll be right back. Coming up on the calendar this week, Monterey, Mazda Raceway, Laguna Seca. Grand Am is there with the Rolex and the Continental Tire Series. Across the bay at Sonoma is the World Touring Car Championship. That's making a visit here to the United States. In Japan, Super GT is at Fuji, and in Canada, the Canadian Rally Championship continues with Rally Defy. I think that's north of Toronto.
Well, Bill, I'm packing up and heading to Mazda Raceway. Hopefully I'll see you out there. I got a little bit more work to do on my SCCA runoffs car, and that's heading that way.
It's going to be a huge weekend for racing. The World Touring Car coming to the United States. That's a major thing. Hope the FIA can let loose the reins a little bit and let the media become a part of the activity. That's the Racing Insiders for this week. Take care of each other and respect each other. It's going to be a good week, good weekend. Want to see you next week. The Racing Insiders, I'm Bill Wood for Jim Daniels and Peter Keane. Take care of each other. Peace.